Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 90 Degree Show hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
All right. Good evening and welcome to the 90 Degree. Your beard and happy to be of service for you tonight. There you go. Listen, let me try that again. Good evening. Behold. Oh. Watch out, Rashad. My bad, man. Just kidding. Welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm just making sure my mic was on tonight. Welcome to the show. This is your first time listening. We appreciate all those listening live, listening podcast form, whether through iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, our website, wherever you are on the interwebs listening. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network. If you feel so in your heart, of course, just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. Okay. It is 11/29/2015. We are basically at the end of the year. Shout out to all the people working and all the people who are getting to the end of the year, if you're not working or not. But everyone knows this time of year is like chill mode a little bit, holiday mode. You still got some stuff to do at work. Just you know what I'm saying. We'll unmute the microphone here of the great Christy Walker. How you doing this evening, Christy?
I'm doing good, but I don't know if you are. What's going on?
I mean, yeah, I was making sure I had the microphone on, and I wasn't sure, but I think I got it all together now. But yeah,
okay.
But it's that time of the year. You know, I just got off vacation. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I think
happy Thanksgiving to you.
But yeah, I'm just ready to kind of just relax and not do anything and just watch college football and pro football and some and a little bit of basketball. Basketball will start getting interesting around Christmas time. So it's like that's and eating. It's like all of that mixed into one right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So that's how it was. How was your Thanksgiving, by the way?
Oh, my Thanksgiving was good. It was very relaxing. Got to see my family and friends and be a little bit lazy and now I got to get ready for work. So
I know.
How that goes.
I hear it in your voice. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. So again, thanks for listening. Thanks, Chris, for being on tonight. Rashad said he's going to join us later. We appreciate a donation to the network. If you have a couple people that donate, so we appreciate those. And thanks again for listening tonight. This is the 90 Degree Show. We are at week 13, y'all, and it's been fast, like Christy said last week. But man, it's 13 weeks already, and so we're actually closing up this year essentially. With we got the Celebration Bowl, we got the SWAC Championship coming up. And we got the Honda, and, that'll be it. We'll do our award show based on, the stuff we saw this year. And, man, I tell you, it's rolling along. So we appreciate all of the support, all the people that is actually participating in what's going on. We're definitely building some things, some really good numbers this year. So, again, shout out to all the folks. Can't never forget the people where you come from. So I may always take extra time to say thank you, but you never can do it enough. You can never tell people enough how you feel about them. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all those folks who are actually listening to the network. All right, so moving on, week 13, the Bayou Classic.
Oh, boy.
Outstanding. The Bayou Classic and the Soul Bowl was this week. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking last week, I was like, oh, man, Actually, Jackson State Alcorn went down this week, so I got a chance to check that out. So, outstanding. Tonight's show is presented by, shout out to all the folks, HBCUbands.com, Killer Care Productions. Shout out to him. Shout out to my crab brother, Troy Milton out in Detroit from Martin Luther King High School. My crab brother, crab president, Trump Stank 97. That's my boy. He is from Detroit, and so is the Killer Cav brother. So he was like, yo, make sure you have him on the show. But I really like what he's doing. The brother has a nice little intro before his videos start. And he's got the little, if y'all notice in his logo, he's got the little Detroit D. Y'all know how they use a little old English D for everything. So I was like, dude, that's tight. So shout out to you, brother. And shout out to Showtime Web. Also saw their footage as well. Shout out to all the videographers doing your thing and burning gas and hitting the road for whatever you're doing, buying batteries and extra film and power strips, whatever you're doing. Thanks for all you do. Okay? So tonight we talked about those two things. Christy, did you see those two, or did you have anything else going on this week? Because I know you be having the news too. So, the scoop sometimes.
Well, I don't know of any scoop, but I did get to watch quite a few bands this weekend. I did get to see the Bayou Classic Battle of the Bands. I didn't watch the actual Bayou Classic or the halftime or the part that was on NBC Sports Network. But I did get to see the battle beforehand, and I also got to see some of the Soul Bowl, the Alcorn and Jackson State matchup, and that was really good. I mean, I got to see quite a bit of the Zero Quarter on Periscope, and then I also got to see the fifth. I looked at the fifth of that this morning. So, yeah, I mean, considering that it was, there are not a lot of games going on in the HBCU world, I got to watch quite a bit of footage.
Well, that's outstanding because we got it all covered. Because I didn't see as much of the Battle of the Bands, and I admit I kind of slept on it a little bit, just because I was like, hey, it's Grambling and Southern, so I shouldn't even think like that. But I'm like, I'd rather see a halftime rather if like because I can't wait to see the drum. That's like the drum. And, like, the dude at Virginia Union, those two things might be my favorite two things in Black College Band. So I just wanted to see that. But people were kind of saying some things I wasn't expecting. So we'll get into that after the first commercial break. And I saw, like, the stuff you didn't see pretty much, Christy, I saw. So I think we pretty much got it covered between those two. And I'm sure Rashad's got the analysis. Rashad probably, has some more things to say as well. So we'll really appreciate you being on. Appreciate Rashad. Appreciate all the love, again, from everyone. You can email the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com, tweet us at marchingpodcast, or follow our blog 4.themarchingpodcast.com. If you're listening live and have a Blog Talk Radio account, you can log into the chat room and leave your comments there. Last and definitely not least, please check out the website, themarchingpodcast.com. Let's take the time to hear from our sponsors. Tonight's show is brought to you by Double Time Entertainment, Liquid Effects Photography, The Edge One Productions, Block Band Music and Publishing, and HBCUbands.com. Let's take the time to hear from them now.
Hi, this is Chris Jones, owner and founder and creator of March Aerobics. My website is cj@marchaerobics.com, and you listen to the 90 Degree Show in the Marching Podcast Network. Now get your legs up.
Double Time Entertainment. Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school marching bands through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and been featured on CNN and Lifetime Network's series Bama State Style. We also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join Double Time Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Music lovers are noteworthy.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Need to write music and drill? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let Block Band Music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
Hello, my name is Samuel Glover, former graduate at John C. Smith University, class of 2001. I was a member of John C. Smith University marching band. My area expertise was percussion and leadership. Also, I was a drum instructor for a couple of years there. But right now, you're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
We're back from the commercial break. That is the Loud Southern. I guess we all know them to be loud. But yes, that's them. We'll be talking about them here in this upcoming section here. The Human Jukebox and the marching band from Tigerland. Is that right, or is that us?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah. The world-renowned roll-away bass drum, Graham Grambling State University. My favorite. I'm telling you.
Being messy already. You being messy already.
What's funny is that no matter what you say to Grambling folks, they roll with Gramblings. They be like, G-S, G. They don't care what you say. And I actually saw, because, this is the social media time, I actually saw somebody had the little, the memes? Is that what they mean? Mm-hmm. Somebody had the drum solo or something like that, and it was the beginning of their show when my man was just sitting out there in the middle. Talking about it was a drum solo. But yeah, man, I love seeing it. So it's always a happy time. A lot of times, I know, Christy, we talked about exposure to black colleges and stuff like that. This was usually the thing people in St. Louis, when I was growing up, they were like, oh, you pretty much can go to that and get a basic taste Because before the Gateway Classic, people were like, oh, well, where do you go? Because Chicago, they weren't, the Windy Classic, Windy City wasn't every year. You could go to Indianapolis, you know, but basically, like, where could you go to get the best punch for the experience? And you could go to the Bayou. So it's always a good time of year. Have you ever been to the Bayou, Christy?
No, I haven't been to the Bayou Classic. I know. I've been following bands for a long time, and I just have not gotten out there. But according to what went down on Friday night, I still may need to save my coins and stay home and watch it via Periscope because, yeah, that was something.
Yeah. So well, that's good. I haven't been myself. You know, it's always, you know, just like Grambling and Southern. And it's funny because when you're kind of from the SWAC, or when your parents or when your folks are from that area, it's just like another SWAC battle. It is a national contest to be happy and celebrated, but it's kind of just another division battle. It's no different than like Bama State and like Alcorn, to be honest with you. You know, it's just on TV. So I hadn't really been myself, but really glad that we have Periscope and all those things so we could talk about it. So let's get into it then, Christy. I guess we could start with Friday night. What was your experience there from what you saw there at the Battle of the Bands?
Okay. Well, you know, I got to preface this and say, no, I was not there. I did watch it on Periscope.
Oh, right,
and,
Periscope,
you know,
right.
Well, of course, with Periscope, you know, you get the view of the person who's streaming. So the view that I saw was somebody sitting more closer to the southern side, but that's okay. I still felt like I could get a good feel for both bands, and my opinions were a lot of people. Some people agreed with my opinions. So you know, people who were actually there. So I felt like my view was good. Now, I'm not like Rashad and will give you the note-by-note prunalysis. I mean, honestly,
right.
I'm more of a general effects kind of person.
Me too.
You know, and I try to look at the big picture of who did what. Now, there are some songs that stand out to me every so often, but I'm not going to remember the note by note or what section did this or blah, 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 okay? I'll leave that to Rashad. He does that well. With that said, I will have to say that I've been saying for the whole season that Southern, you know, I don't know if they're having a bit of a sophomore slump, but, you know, last year they came out with guns blazing. This year, I mean, I've seen some more misses. I don't want to say more misses than hits, but, I mean, there have definitely been some misses. I don't think that Southern it's interesting. I think Southern got the L. I think Southern took a loss to Grambling. I thought Grambling, just based on Friday night, was probably the better overall band, just based on their song selection, their musicality. I mean, I felt like overall the night was a crank fest, but I mean, I don't know. I felt like both bands were playing loud, but Grambling was still a little bit more musical. Southern kind of frustrated me off the top when they played Adele Fortissimo, and I know Adele, they played Hello by Adele, and, you know, when the singer Adele belts into the chorus, you know, her voice rises, but it's more of like a passion rather than a volume kind of thing. And I felt like Southern was just going for volume, and it just took away all of the feeling of the song. I was just, well, even before they started playing Adele, when both of the band directors it was a whole talking and introduction thing at the beginning. They were just losing me, and I was like, I couldn't even make out what they were actually saying, but it was just a bunch of gibberish to me. And I was like, forget this. Let's get with the plan, you know. I mean, I know everybody at a Battle of the Bands, you got to say your thank yous, you know, your sponsors and blah, blah, blah. But on both sides, that was over the top. I thought that Southern's song selection kind of, they kind of let me down with the 90s melody. Now, I know Brandy and her family was there. The singer Brandy and her family was there.
They
and
were
I'm
in the house?
Yeah, they were in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in there because, like, Brandy, she had on her Instagram, like, pictures from there, and I think they announced her because, you know, her mother graduated from Southern and, like...
What? No, I didn't know
that.
I
think, yeah, her mom went to Southern, and I think her company has sponsored the jukebox in some kind of way, you know, so... I mean, I totally get that, and I'm a huge Brandy fan. That's my girl. So I wasn't surprised when they started playing some songs by Brandy, but I just wasn't impressed with the arrangements. I mean, I thought that considering, okay, I know to you it may be to some other people it may be a regular SWAC game. I mean, a regular SWAC matchup. I get that, but I feel like they should have brought their A game. I feel like both bands should have brought their A game. I mean, this is your rival still. I mean, even if it's just a regular concert, a regular conference game, it's still your rival. And I don't think either band brought their A game. With that said, though, I still think Grambling got the edge with, you know, they played. It seemed to me like they played more dynamics than just Forte and Fortissimo, you know, and Fortissimo. They actually played with dynamics, their song selection. I feel like I liked some of the arrangements a little better. Southern also didn't play, like they didn't play that Lizelle and E flat like you played when we came back in from the commercial. Like, you know, at least I didn't hear that. I mean, I don't know if they were trying to save the big guns for the actual game, but I mean, hey, Southern had some heavy hitters, and they didn't use them. I just didn't think I don't think they were as strategic as they could have been. So, yeah.
That's actually really good, because you know that was like the tip that I was leaving for the listeners before the break, that, you know, is basically Southern Grambling, no big deal. Yeah, Southern's going to blow them out. But that's what I was seeing. Or that's what I was hearing, that Grambling was actually winning. And then later on it was like Grambling won the Battle of the Bands. I was like, what? Like, are you sure? Like, yeah, all right, man.
I'm sure.
That. Yeah, so a lot of people have said that, and that's interesting because when I was looking at it, I felt like Southern, I think they added some songs to the book for the event. I hadn't heard that Candy Rain, and we hadn't followed.
Oh yeah,
every
I did like that. Well,
that was cool.
Rain, I think that was part of the '90s medley. Like they played Candy Rain, they played Best Friend by Brandy, and I think they played something else. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. So it seemed like, you know, they added something for the event, but Grambling definitely had house. They had some supporters out there. And that kind of made things different. And then, of course, Christy, you know me. When Southern brought the dude out there to sing, I was like, oh man.
Gosh, I was so over that. I was just so over it, and I was like, really, y'all gonna do this gimmick, really? And he wasn't even a good singer. That's what got me. It was like, it's one thing if you bring out, like somebody that can really belt it out, like Fantasia or something. But but you bringing out this person, and I think he's a regional kind of singer, like people in the region know him. I don't live in Louisiana, so I wouldn't know. Either way, I was not impressed.
No, and I hate it, even when it's somebody good. But then, of course, Southern they were getting angry, sound like a couple of times. So of course that means they were getting louder, and just swallowed dude up. Just this dude just didn't hear nothing after that. So, yeah, definitely that hurt him to me. But it was tough. It's just tough for me to say it. I'm looking in the chat room. Miss Janelle Bree, one of a triple plus platinum listeners. She basically say it's hard to believe, but Grambling was the better band for the night. And I ain't gonna lie, it's hard for me to say it. I was just messing with my boy. Shout out to my home. Shout out to the bros. Shout out to I grew up with Anthony Smotherman. We chopped it up with Smut on the network. Me and him were arguing actually about the game. I kept saying the game is not on TV anymore. Of course, like it ain't on everybody's TV.
I told you that it was on NBC Sports. I told you that. I said that last week on the podcast.
Okay, so you sound like him getting on me. I know that, but like
you got to do better.
It's a demotion. So just saying like it's not on TV anymore. It's not gonna be on just regular antenna cable like it should be nationally. I guess that was my point. And he was like, "Oh man, you need to check your cable package, dog." Blah 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 blah. I was like, "Dog, like nah, man, like." It don't come on TV. It ain't going like so. We were arguing back and forth, but shout out to the. But that's what I was saying. So then we got mad. I was like, yeah, but at least your school ain't about to. Or I told him that your school is about to get cleaned out in the Battle of the Bands, and that may not have been the case. You know what I'm saying?
No, it won't. It was not. If that person was from Southern, from Southern, it was not the case.
Right. So shout out to Graham.
I'm not the hugest Grambling fan. I mean, I admit that they do some things that are kind of
horrible,
kind of. Let's just say interesting.
Horrible.
No, you will not put words in my mouth, sir.
No, you're right. That was me. I said it.
Okay. Well, they do some interesting things on the field that I don't really agree with all the time. But so that should just even validate it some more because being an unbiased person. I mean I've liked Southern through the years. I've never been a huge Grambling fan, but Grambling gave them the business. So oh well.
Oh, they gave them the business. That is just yeah. Even just Ms. Bree said it's a hard pill to swallow, but SU did take the L. And hey man, I can't. It's really tough for me because I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it's just hard for me. You and Rashad made a really good point a couple weeks ago, and you were talking about just some programs, certain things you just can't get past. So it's just so hard saying. And plus, I'm from Jackson State. I'm supposed to hate Southern, but I hate everybody kind of equally, and I just love giving it to Grambling just because they're Grambling, and it's like dang man, like. They did. So I actually have to say, so that's actually really good stuff that you guys feel that way because a lot of people said it. And I didn't really know to I don't believe it. I just know it was close. And when things are maybe kind of close, that may have something to do with me not letting it go. But, yeah, there are a lot of people. So shout out to you, Grandma. I have to give an applause. That's still kind of a David and Goliath type of situation. I mean, you know.
It still is. Yeah, it's David versus Goliath, but we know who came out in the end. So.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So, moving on, Christy, what else you said did you get a chance to check out this week?
Well, I did get to see the Jackson versus Alcorn. Now, that was a much better matchup in my opinion. But I figured that you watched the so you didn't watch any of the game or any of the Bayou Classic game?
Okay, yeah, that's right. So I did check out the Bayou Classic. I did check out the halftime. And of course I did a fifth quarter for that because of course they basically had that the night before. But yes, I did check out the halftime. Halftime was a little bit more as we expected it to go. Southern, they're really good at their drill. They just marched really well. They didn't execute it to the eye perfection like it's usually Southern. Like some of the formations weren't as perfect as you would expect them to be. but they still had a really good drill. I love the kaleidoscope stuff. And when it's precise, you know, it's really, really cool. And even when it's hard, you know, they actually had a pretty good drill. They didn't execute it like they should, but it was still a really good drill. Better drill than Grambling. Grambling's drill, of course, was not as intricate, of course, and they're like always dancing. So I don't necessarily know when Grambling starts drilling and when they move in the block band because they be dancing so much. But
yeah, they
Southern's
do the most. Yeah. Anyway,
so Southern's drill was better, and they got down to the dance routine. I'm not gonna lie, Chrissy, it's getting to the point now where I like seeing the drill and maybe, you know, what concert piece you play, but the dance routine part, I'm like, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to understand it. I'm going to have to, like, Google the songs and, like, what they saying to catch up. Maybe I'm getting old, per se, but unless somebody is, like, doing something super, super dope, that part is, you know, it doesn't, like, jump out at me. There was one part.
I've never been a big dance routine type of person. I guess I was before I started marching, like pre-college. But once I got in the band and, you know, in college and on out as an alum, I've never been a huge dance routine person. I really like it when bands, and I've seen different bands do it, you know, and I'm talking about HBCU bands, when they actually don't have a dance routine. I think I'm like, just give me more cranking, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to dance. That's just me. But it could be because we're getting older.
Yeah, and they don't have to, or either maybe it's, you know, depending on the show, the moment. I guess it depends. I know one thing that I guess you can give Southern credit for, that the whole Louisiana culture, you know, they got their own rap and all their own songs, and they got a little move where it looked like they heading a soccer ball or something. They got a little dance and they jump up. I like, oh, that's tight. I like that. So they've done that a couple times this year. I've seen that. So they did that, and it's like, okay, I guess the people in Louisiana could appreciate what they doing, you know. So I was like, okay, you know, Southern had a good show. Grambling, on the other hand, they, you know, it wasn't the precise execution, patterns of motion. They made a doctor on the field, and I don't know, you just made a DR. I mean, I understand you was giving shots out.
What was the announcer say? What was that for? What was the announcer saying?
I think it was for the president. Their president, you know, if someone, you know, can let me know on the chat room or something, but I was just staring at how the R was crooked. I mean, it was just, they were like, for our president, and I was like, you know, so I was like, okay, well, that's a little different. And then, you know, they went into the tribute for Devin Gales, I believe his name is. Mm-hmm, and I think Southern did a thing for him a couple weeks ago, or at their homecoming, I believe. The guy, he got paralyzed this year, for the folks that don't know. So a lot of people around the community have been showing him support. So then Grambling then gives him a little shout out in their show. So,
well, that was nice.
Yeah, but it's like,
you think it was too gimmicky?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like,
okay, says a person from the band with little kids dancing, little wavy days.
That's different.
Okay.
The way little kid, the Baby Tigers is like a faucet in like HBCU band culture. You know what I'm saying? That's the greatest. That and Dancing Big Girls, we have to let those slide. Like, those aren't gimmicks anymore because they're so great. We've just adapted them. Oh, that's right. But we talked about that a little bit. Well, yeah. Okay, so let me not get in trouble going down that road. Let me go back to beating on Grambling. Yeah. So Grambling, I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe they were reaching to be like, hey, kind of like, you know how UNC did with y'all. UNC was like, hey, A&T, let's make a joint halftime because, you know, it's going to be, you know, we're going to get crunk on. And so I felt like they were trying to reach with that one. And then the 33 was crooked. I was like, oh, man. Like, one of the threes was bigger than the other threes. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
how hard is it to form a three?
Well, it's pretty hard, and plus you ain't really. It's not drilled in, you know. So because Gramblin's just not known for drill, you know what I'm saying. So,
right.
I thought it was still. I still think that Grambling sounds good though. You know, they're definitely not as high schoolish, or they definitely are proud of who they are and they come with it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I felt that, you know, it couldn't get any worse. I didn't care for the show, and then they had someone come out to sing.
Oh Lord!
Show. So you know, I was like, you definitely took the L now. The crooked.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I had something else going on and I couldn't watch halftime.
Yeah.
I was like, I've seen all I need to see in that Battle of the Band, that farce. Oh, I was so disappointed.
Yeah, so especially since, you know, we do the show and we've done Grambling this year and we've done Southern a couple of times, you definitely kind of know what to expect. So that was basically what we expected in that halftime show. You know, I guess the definite pool was the Battle of the Bands and people saying that Grambling was actually winning the Battle of the Bands. And they did have a lot of crowd participation, which is hard. You know what I mean? That's hard to be like, man, everybody like giving you house and like, man, they wasn't doing nothing. That was kind of what was going on. So, yes, good for you, Grambling. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Well, let me just
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I've been thinking about these Battle of the Bands. So, like, you know, I remember earlier in the season when Talladega and Southern, they had their little battle, and then the Bayou Classic battle, and it seemed like both of the setups were the same. It was just the bands, you know, sitting beside each other, just cranking. And while I think earlier in my band watching career, I think earlier that would have been okay for me. I find myself missing. Something's missing with, and I don't want to say it's that SWAC battle, that SWAC style of Battle of the Bands, but if it's a Battle of Bands, you got to give me more than just two bands cranking songs at each other. I need a little bit more. I think my palate has developed a little more where just the cranking at each other, it just doesn't do it for me. But then I think about like how Norfolk State back in the 2000s would do their Battle of the Bands, and that started catching on to other like more MEAC and CIAA style, where you have, you know, each band plays a spirit mix, each band plays a march, each band, you know, and then they break down, and each instrument does a battle. And I mean, hey, I'm a woodwind player, I'm a clarinet player, that's my main instrument. But I don't want to see a woodwind battle. You know, not in that setting at least. So I guess I'm saying all this to say, I wish there was some kind of like a format that was like a happy medium between just cranking at each other, but then not breaking it down. So, you know, we have a flute battle, and I play flute as well, but I don't want a flute battle, you know? Right. So I don't know.
That's definitely Miss Bree, or I guess Janelle Bree, she said, Christy, what's missing is musicality. That's what she says maybe missing from this. I think you bring up a really good point. You know, shout out to National Show Band Association. Just not thinking about you, Darius. Maybe you and Walter, you guys come up with some format, or get with Christy, put your heads together to come up with some program, I guess, to follow. And I'm sure it would catch fire. And all the, even hollering at Taylor Whitehead, shout out out there, brother, with your Battle of the Bands in Warren County is there as well. It would be nice to have something like you said, where it's like specifically some adjudication, if you will. You know, I know that we used to post the People's Choice Awards, and it was like, hey, who you think won, blah, blah, blah. And then people were pretty much voting on, what they saw. So a lot of people, of course, and shout out to the Fifth. I just get my best feedback from the Fifth, even if it's people going off of me. It's the bomb. Shout out to Bruce Wayne. Shout out to the Fab Brothers, who I was arguing last year. I kind of understand what you're saying about videos and stuff. But, again, it's all love for the betterment of the craft. But basically, people were saying, hey, this is somewhat of a popularity contest, or people may not have even seen the band, or so when the guy, I can't think, K. Rashad, he posted out something. I think I got him mad at me, Christy. I said something in the comments. I was like, yeah, no, you know what I'm saying? I definitely want to holler at you, man, but definitely people saying, unless there's some type of adjudication, people saying it's basically a popularity contest. And a lot of people, even in the comments, they would be like, oh, Texas Southern's band has the greatest band in like 40 years or something, and it was like, they were horrible. But, it was really, really, I think it's definitely something, I think you hit the nail on the head. And for all the people out there listening, we definitely will put our minds together coming up with some type of format, if you will, where, where you're going, maybe even competing for points, if you will, or something. I guess something fun where we could have something to view something against, because there's just way too much arbitration. You know what I mean? And I think it's fun. But, we need something.
And you know what made me think about it was, these Battle of the Bands, but like every Battle of the Band, well, not every Battle of the Bands. I don't want to say every, but like the main kind of Battle of the Bands that I saw on Periscope, I just kept thinking, I'm glad I didn't pay my money to travel there. I'm glad I didn't, pay my money to go. I'm glad I didn't pay my money. And I shouldn't be thinking that. I mean, have I gotten so cynical that I've seen it all? I don't think I've seen it all, but I was like, why do I feel this way? And then I watched Hampton. This was 2 weeks ago, maybe. Hampton University's band had their marching band concert, I guess, where they just played songs to. They play it on campus. I think Morgan State does something similar like that. They have like a marching band show where they feature, their band, and they go through and they break it down into sections, and they play marches, they play spirit mixes, and I wasn't impressed with that either. So maybe I'm just and hey, I'm from Hampton, Virginia, so I could have easily come there to see that. And again, I was wishing, I'm thinking to myself, I'm glad I didn't go to see that. And so I don't know, maybe I'm just being persnickety, or maybe I'm just getting old and have seen everything, but I need something to move me. I need something to move me, and I'm just not really getting it, other than, and y'all, I'm going to say it, but y'all think I'm biased or whatever, but other than like A&T shows where they have like themes and, I'm just not really impressed. And
you don't have to say that, but I mean that's real. Everyone, I guess the real bandhead knows that's not like a homer statement. You know what I'm saying about as far as A&T. I think everybody does understand A&T probably does have the best halftime shows, unless there might be some other stuff going on. I'm sure most of the folks could agree with that. It would be interesting to see if people didn't agree, or they'd be like they bring up. But I definitely think, like you said, and their homecoming halftime show, that's hard to beat. You know what I mean? After
right.
that, But no, you bring up a good point.
I
think that's the purpose.
Rambling.
But no, I think that's the point of the show, and I think we definitely need to talk about that and bring it up. And shout out to all the directors listening. Shout out. I'm about to say shout out to Director Wright, Carl. But he the bros too, Christy. So shout out to the bros. Shout out to the bros. But he's out listening. So people like him and other folks, brother Davenport, Dr. Davenport, I'm sure it's good that they have these thoughts, and then maybe we can put it together. That kind of rolls right into Miss Bree's statement again. she said, the band directors and coordinators of the event are supposed to work stuff like that ahead of time. So basically, we're all putting it together here in this brainstorming. We'll put something together, and we'll start to put it out. I know Barney in the chat room too. He's a good guy to kind of bounce that stuff off of too. But yeah, anybody, even the videographers, tweet us something, or if you have a format, or just thinking about some of the things that you would like to have in the contest. I think that's a really good topic for us to advance the craft, because that, like you said, that would bring us more money. Because we don't want our own folks saying, I'm glad I didn't spend the money, because it's just the two bands like in concert formation, or it's like a fifth. You know what I mean? It's like a fifth.
Yeah, it was like a fifth. Like that Southern Talladega battle was just basically a fifth, and I was like, really. Really? But shout out to the people who were streaming it, though. Shout out to them, because they're the real MVPs. They are the real MVPs, because, hey, they saving a sister some money and some headaches. So.
Yeah, and hey, we all together here. We hey, like we said, we all we got, y'all. That statement is realer than you think. So, shout out to all the folks. I'm looking over here right in time, Christy Walker, for the commercial break. So that's actually perfect for our time. I'm going to mute you really fast. We'll get rid of the sponsors, let the pay the bills. Shout out to the beloved sponsors. We'll play those commercials. We'll be back with the rest of our conversation. We talked about Jackson State. Anything left? We'll talk about with Grambling and Southern and the Bayou. We'll be back to talk about Jackson State, Alcorn, and anything else that may come up here with Christy Walker. And, y'all, I got another article that I wanted to bounce off Christy. The Battle of the Bands, the band programs aren't getting all of the money. We talk about all this stuff.
Here we go.
I didn't know if people actually knew that. But I wanted to bounce that article off to you at the end. Thanks again for listening to 90 Degree Show, Week 13. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's the Edge One, Southern University's class of 2013 graduate. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Double Time Entertainment. Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school marching bands through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and been featured on CNN and Lifetime Network's series Bama State Style. We also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join Double Time Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Music lovers are noteworthy.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
Hello, this is Charles Cheese Waters, proud graduate of Rusk College in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and father of the owner of Block Band Music and Publishing. And you're listening to the 90 Degrees Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
We're back. Thanks for listening. You're listening to the Sonic Boom of the South. Bring us back from the break. Thanks again for listening. I'm going to unmute Christy's microphone here. Rolling into a little bit of our conversation about the boom and Bizarro State. I love that joke. That's just like the greatest ever. I'm sorry. Wow. Alcorn State University, a great institute of higher learning in Norman, Mississippi. We are excited to talk about that game as well. So shout out to you if you're listening, 718-664-6025. Again, you're in the chat room. Thanks for listening and leaving your comments. So did we get everything out about the Bayou? We talked about the Battle of the Bands, and basically I felt that Southern won the halftime show, especially after Dude came out and was singing, for Grambling. Did we talk everything else about the Bayou, Christy?
Well, there's just one more thing I want to note, and it's not necessarily about the bands. I just saw an article that said that the attendance of the Bayou Classic was the highest since Hurricane Katrina. So that's a good thing. I want to give a shout out to that. With that said, I really wish it was on regular NBC. I wish it was on regular NBC. I mean, I know it's on the sports network, and I do get that, but I wish it was on regular NBC.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, so let me just press a button here again. Just for both things, it is definitely, it breaks my heart a little bit, like you said. I didn't even really know the actual channel even existed. So, of course, I had to, look for it, and then I was like, okay. So, but they said it was the ratings, and that's kind of the card they could always play. It's like, oh, we just don't have the money, or you guys just don't have the money, So, hopefully this, that's why we have these podcasts together, so we can start letting each other touch the same dollar. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, again, we'll keep promoting that stuff as well. But shout out to you. That's outstanding to hear that. Again, we got shout out to Morgan State. Shout out to Morgan State. Shout out to Janelle Bree. Shout out to her leaving the comments. She said that she thinks the marketing contractual stuff for the Bayou Classic is affecting the whole event and band performances. I guess I could throw out there was actually an article that, I was actually reading about this very thing, and it was talking about that Southern doesn't get. I would like to know the deal or what's going on with Grambling, but it says that Southern does not get all of the proceeds for the Battle of the Bands. I'm looking
so are you
for
talking about the school itself, or are you talking about the band program?
The band program. I actually found the article here. It's from the Rouge Collection. So sound Le Rouge, definitely sound like something down there in Louisiana. But it was written by a guy named Gary Chambers. He's the publisher of the Rouge Collection and producer and co-director of The Band Plays On, documentary on the Southern University Human Jukebox, and Family Man, and Somewhat Grateful for the Grace of God. The brother says here.
I've seen that.
Okay, so he wrote, I guess I can just get to it now. He wrote a little article. I'll post it here in the chat room for all those. But a really good read just about the actual event and how many leeches are involved. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean leeches
How
in
do
a
you
bad
not mean leech in a bad way?
Well, because in essence, it's how much they pull from the actual host. You see what I'm saying? So it does have a negative connotation, but the fact it detaches itself for the life. That's kind of the parallel I was trying to draw there. So maybe it didn't come out right. But straight up, though, it's like there's so many people involved in the Bayou Classic. And then you throw in the Battle of the Bands or anything associated with it. You got the parades and all that. But they basically was talking about some of the financial issues that the band is facing, but then they're still putting so much maximum effort in these events. It's really, really good. I definitely think you guys should check it out. But essentially, the guy was saying in the article that the tickets are $25 to attend the Battle of the Bands. And
so is that separate from the step show, or is it all in one? Like they do the step show and then they do the Battle of the Bands.
Oh, I'm not sure. This is just based on his article. He's just saying, I guess, just specifically for the Battle of the Bands is $25. And last year's attendance, he said, was 30,000 people. So I'm guessing, is this all the same event, the step show and all that stuff like that? Or is it just the battle and that's it? Oh, okay. Because that's a huge venue. You know what I'm saying? It's and they got it packed up pretty good. So yeah, definitely. Hey, if you got more information to break us down, let us know. But I'm posting the article there in the chat room for you guys to check it out. Definitely be really, really good for you guys to check that out. But I thought I just think it's really, really interesting. Again, we're talking about finances again with our band programs, and I guess selling the idea of the band being the ambassador to your school again. Okay, so we got a couple calls here. Oh, I think this is Rashad here. What's going on, Rashad? How you doing tonight, man?
What up?
Hey.
Sorry, the phone was dead a little bit there, Joe, so I had to, had to regroup there in order to charge up, man. But, I got a couple things to say.
That's cool, ready. Man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, we definitely will give you the floor. I usually give you the floor after Christy. So, did you want to start talking about the Bayou?
Yeah, man. Really, I saw two things this weekend. First of all, I didn't know that Jackson State and Alcorn had a game at all. So, I'm not going to talk about them first, but I'll just say that I saw two things this weekend that were kind of hand in hand. Now, truth be told, I only saw maybe the beginnings of both battles, which was the Battle of the Bands between Grambling and Southern, as you have been talking about here, and also the game, the fifth quarter between Alcorn and Jackson. And I got to say,
zero quarter, because they had a zero quarter.
They had a zero.
Yeah,
okay.
They had a zero.
Okay. All I got to say, again, truth be told, I only saw like the beginning of it, but I saw at least 3 or 4 rounds for each of those. And I saw two classic SWAC bands catching hell from upstarts. well, I saw Southern catching hell from Grambling, which was unbelievable. And I saw Alcorn State, really, really hanging with Jackson State and actually doing some things that were better than Jackson State at the beginning. Now, I know there are those that may disagree and those who believe I hate Jackson State and all that type of stuff. Not true. You guys know it. But, wow, I was really impressed. So let me start with the Bayou Classic. So Southern started with their their American tribute. I noticed a couple things were out of tune in the you can really notice the mellophones are out of tune constantly as they're playing because you hear that wavering in their tone as they go. But I thought the whole thing that they did at the beginning was pretty cool. Grambling responded with something very similar, a military tribute. I thought the song they played was cool. I thought the announcer or the person that was reading the poem, the speech could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot more entertaining.
Boy.
And I think that would have really kind of told it a little bit more. Let me see here. From there, Southern came back again, and they really just started hammering it on in, with all that power that they have. All right, let's come on, let's wake them all up. And then they played, what's the song? Hotline Bling. First of all, I got to applaud Southern for playing it the right way because so many I've heard when the song first dropped, I heard a lot of bands kind of playing it too fast or just too aggressively. And of course, Southern is aggressive, but they have a way of being aggressive and still sounding mellow at the same time. So I really appreciate how they played it. But when Grambling played it back, dude, I don't know what they did. I need to go to the keyboard and say, okay, did they play it a half step higher? Or did they just use the right chords and Southern didn't? I don't know. And I don't know if you guys heard it as well. But as soon as Grambling started playing, I was like, that sounds a whole lot better.
Oh, I heard it.
Like, and it's like, and the audience recognized that as well. Like, it would be very rare to follow Southern with the same song and be able to get applause from the audience because it's just very hard to do. But they did it. And I thought the arrangement sounded better than Southern's arrangement. And then they played another song right after that. I think it was a Frankie Beverly song. And it's like the crowd started clapping like in the middle of the song. And I was like, go ahead, Grambling. I mean, they were playing, man. So then Southern comes back, with a slow song. And that's pretty cool. But then Ordinary People. Yeah, it sounded decent. But then Grambling came back and they played
that song selection. When they played that Ordinary People, I was just blown. I was like, really? I mean, y'all got that Lizelle and E flat, and y'all got, stuff like Bohemian Rhapsody, and y'all playing John Legend? Come on. Come on. That was so not strategic. Like they were not tactical. Whoever was calling the songs was not tactical. Or they were having an off night.
They said that, people were going to reminisce on everyday people, even though songs on the
I don't think that's the song that I don't think that song elicits the crowd response like some other songs. But anyway.
True, very true.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to say that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you went where you went to school. But anyway, Grambling responded with some song I never heard before. I was like, okay, this is decent. But all of a sudden, the low brass was I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, Joe, you probably text me to put my mouth on the phone, right?
Just a little. You sound a little muffled. Yeah.
My bad.
Okay, so that's better.
Grambling played two songs, and the second song, again, was some song, I guess, Let's Make It Right, I guess is what that's called. It sounds like it was a local song because Southern came back and played the same song with the actual artist playing. And Southern sounded much better than Grambling. I mean, they sounded amazing playing that song. Here's the rub, though. That singer sounded terrible.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, he sounded like me out there trying to sing the song, trying to make it right. He was just throwing it for Southern,
He was.
Good,
That's what I'm saying. He hurt the performance a little bit.
Mhm. Absolutely.
How you gonna hurt the performance by singing your own song, Boo?
Right.
I know.
I mean,
it's not like they brought a random person out there to sing the song. They brought the original artist, and he hurt the performance.
He should have just stood up there. But see, that's again like Chrissy talking about coaching. You could have had the brother, up there just, walking around waving. But please stop singing. The singing, man. Woo! Please.
Well, one problem with Southern's band is it's very hard to sing with Southern's band. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he was out of tune. It's just hard to sing with Southern's band because once they crank up, you're not going to be heard. Yeah. So it's like during the verse, he was fine. But as soon as they got to the chorus, it was done.
Right.
It was done. He's like, just stop. So anyway, that's what I saw with the Bayou Classic. I don't know what happened with the rest of that, but I really, really enjoyed Gramblin's performance. And I saw, a lot of people have commented, here and there on the internet, saying, oh, Grambling really, came, or both bands really stepped up to the performance. So I can't wait to see the rest of it. As far as the fifth quarter between Alcorn and Jackson, Jackson, Alcorn started right off. I can't remember what it is that they played, but something with like a really fast run in it right at the beginning. And I don't ever recall hearing Alcorn play anything like that before. So I was like, I was impressed by the fact that they would jump out there and do that. And Chrissy, what you were saying with the shot calling or the play calling, I kind of felt that Jackson State really fell victim to that as well.
Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna say. I felt like that was a much more even matchup than the Bayou Classic. But if I had to give an edge, it would be to Alcorn, and it would be on song selection.
Because Alcorn played some song towards the beginning. It was like maybe their second or third song. I don't know what it was. I can't remember what it was. That's like, no. Why did you play that? Not feeling that. And then their next song right after that was some song that had a lot going on, but it's like it seemed like the band didn't know it. And I'm sitting there listening to the song in my car, and I'm like, okay, there's well over 200 people in this band playing this song. Okay, I don't care how much is going on in it, how many different rhythms that are going on in this song. If everybody in the band knows that song, it should be a lot stronger than this. So I wasn't particularly impressed. With neither band, I don't think either of the bands sounded near as good as Grambling or Southern did. Particularly when you listen to Alcorn play, it doesn't seem like they hold pitches very well. Like their attacks are okay. Some people said they were sloppy. I just felt like when you listen to Alcorn play, sometimes it's kind of hard to pick out the melody, and it's not because of balance. That's the problem with Jackson State. Jackson State still has a significant problem with balance. But with Alcorn State, I feel it's because they don't really hold their pitches that well. So when they're playing, it's a lot going on, like musically, like it's just going in and out of tune. And so it's kind of hard to pick out the melody because there's so much of a distraction in the other sounds. Versus when you listen to Southern play, Southern, they may not necessarily be the most in-tune band in the world, but I think they do a good job of sustaining a pitch once they have it. So it's easier to hear the melody because once that trombone player is playing that F, it doesn't matter if it's sharp or flat, he's hanging on that note and he's not going in and out of tune. So you can tell that really well. There was some song that Southern played at the beginning where the trumpets and mellophones were doubled together, and it was like, good God, that was incredible. That sounds great. But it's that same type of thing. They're holding the pitches very well, so you can very, very clearly understand the melody. So that's my 2 cents or 3 or 4 or 5 cents, whatever y'all want to pay me for it, on what I saw this weekend.
So pretty much Christy said that Grambling won the Battle of the Bands with Grambling and Southern. How do you feel, Rashad? Do you feel that Grambling won the Battle of the Bands on Friday night?
Since I didn't see the whole thing, I would be careful to speculate that. But I would say, based on what I saw at the beginning, it's possible. And I do know that at least 4 years ago, I think maybe it was 2011, 2012, when the last time I went to a Bayou Classic, I felt that Grambling had won that one that year as well. So it's not like it's never possible for Grambling to win. Grambling can win from time to time.
Right. Of course. And the halftime show. How did you feel about the Bayou Classic halftime show? Who you feel won the halftime show?
Since Christy opted not to have the get-together that we talked about having, I actually broke tradition and did not see the Bayou Classic halftime show. So go ahead and play the boo sounds. Boo.
Yeah, I got to scroll up. It's okay, though. It's all good.
I think for the first time in years, I did not watch it actually on TV. But all due respect, it wasn't on ESPN anymore, so that kind of...
NBC. You mean NBC.
Right.
I'm sorry, it wasn't on NBC anymore, yeah, which is always
and we kind of got into that a little bit, but as far as, like, based on what I saw, it was pretty much as we expected, or, like, as basically we've talked about Grambling Southern on the field, and it was pretty much, you know, standard. And, of course, you know, depending on if you know, the Grambling folks, they may feel that they have won too, but, you know, all the dancing and all the shucking and jiving, you know, other than the rolling bass drum, other than that, Southern still edged them out, I felt, in the halftime show. Because, I mean, that bass drum is hard to beat when you put it out there. You know what I'm saying? That's like a beacon. You know what I mean? So I do have we do have
the bells now. They get the bells now too.
I was about to say. Now I did hear the bells a lot more Friday night. I did. I'm glad you said that, Rashad.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to the bells. Shout out to the xylophone. We do have someone in the call queue in the 401 area code. I'm gonna get to you right fast. But someone, Redman 7601. So it might be him. What's up, brother? Muddy Waters. He said that he was there at the Battle of the Bands, and he believes Southern won the Battle of the Bands. He was there. He agreed with you, Rashad, about the Hotline Bling and how they grooved it. And, you know, Grambling, he didn't agree with you guys about Grambling. He felt that it sounded too happy. But we all agree on the singer. We all agree on the singer.
Have you seen Drake dance during that song? It's pretty happy.
I guess so. I guess maybe he meant, probably, I don't know what he meant. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I guess it was too nice or something. You know what I mean. Well, that's kind of what he means. That's just basically what I'm saying. Then we all agree about the singer. Barney actually chimed in. Oh, my God. He said that JSU has had problems all year with song selections and not playing them with confidence.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Okay. And then Barney said, in my opinion, Grambling was the better band because of the play calling or the song selection. Both bands sounded good. And I think we all can agree with Grambling does sound good now. They sounded good Friday night. Like you said, like Rashad said, Grambling can win. Let's go ahead and get to the caller from the 410 area code. Thanks for holding. Caller, where you calling from? What's your name? Where you calling from tonight?
Hey, this is Janelle Bree. How y'all doing?
What's going on tonight? How you doing?
Hey guys. All right. I have a couple things. I'm gonna try to make it quick. All right, so let's go to the Battle of the Bands first. All right, I'm gonna take it from another standpoint. I wasn't gonna talk about the music part, but since y'all already on it, I'm gonna go ahead with it. Okay, musicality. I think that's what the distinguishing characteristic between the two bands. I feel like Southern, I've never been on the Southern bandwagon. Sorry, guys, never been on the bandwagon. They're loud, they're powerful, great, but it seems like they have one speed. I feel like the arrangements are often too high, fast, loud, and aggressive. Mm-hmm. You kind of miss the color. And so when they attempt to do things like a ballad, exposes them. It exposes the lack of musicality big time. They lose the control. Anybody can play loud and fast. We know that. That's not hard to do. But true musicianship comes, you can really hear what your band can do when you break down those ballads. And they struggle with that. You cannot play a ballad loud and fast Southern. I'm sorry. And so when people hear that, they're like, no, something's not right. I think that's what kind of set Grambling apart because they made the attempt to actually be musical. I have a hard time with college bands that can't play in tune also. That drives me nuts. And when you're used to always playing loud and aggressive, you're going to have intonation issues. And so it left Southern really exposed. And so Grambling, to me, was the better band of the evening. They definitely was the better band of the evening. So that's the Battle of the Bands part. Okay. Halftime, I don't know if anybody else caught halftime. There was some timing issues for both bands. I don't know if it's because they were in the dome and there was a lot of talking and noise and the timing was off, but even like the Dancing Dolls, who usually really clean it on it, they were kind of looking around. Everybody seemed to have a little bit of timing issues. I don't know if anybody else caught that. Definitely the Dancing Dolls. I was like, whoa. Like, they were really kind of off for the halftime. I'm not going to even try to attempt to call a winner for halftime, but that's just my 2 cents on that part. Now I'm going to chime in on the – go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's actually really good. It's hard because I like being loud and all that, but you make some good points about just being aggressive, and that is – being aggressive. That's kind of you. Sometimes you are, left exposed or whatever. I'll just piggybacking on what you were saying. Please go ahead, please.
All right. So then the next part about the article, I did read the article also, and it kind of grinds my gears that I feel like a lot of HBCUs financial management when it comes down to big events like this, I think it's poor management. They are getting raked over the coals financially. This whole thing. I think they're in a good contract. It's a good deal. But I don't know who's managing the money because obviously the schools, I think from the article it says the event made like $50 million, something crazy like that. And the schools are splitting $1.25 million or something. What in the world? That doesn't make any kind of financial sense. That makes no kind of sense. So of that, if the school's splitting $1.something million, the band isn't seeing much of that money. Probably at all. They may be getting some like chump change from, there's both bands, Southern and Grambling did something with the Wiz. So I'm sure that was probably a part of their contract. I was like, because when both of the bands did part of the Wiz and thing was like, NBC's doing the Wiz, whatever. I was like, okay. So they might have got some, they might have got some little, they probably got, I'm sure that's a part of the contract. But the Bayou Classic to me, of all the classics and things that I've been to, I did attend post-Katrina. I call it post-Katrina Bayou Classic. And it feels more commercial and more staged. So the Battle of the Bands isn't like truly a Battle of the Bands to me. It's because you go into the step show is first, and the step show is long. And a lot of people are there for that. It's not even like a band heads kind of event. So if you walk into it thinking it's going to be a band head event, no, not really. It's really kind of staged and formatted, The step show took more time than I think probably the Battle of the Bands the year that we went. So it was just like, I kind of left kind of disappointed. I felt like I'm not in a hurry to run back to the Bayou Classic at all. I didn't feel like it was, like I said, I feel like it's just more commercial. I guess, if you're trying to fulfill the contractual things, and it was just like, it didn't feel like an authentic band head Battle of the Bands kind of a thing event to me. That's just my 2 cents on that.
First of all, I really appreciate all the things you say. I appreciate you listening. And just to reiterate what you said, the article posted and said it was a split of $750,000 to split between the two schools.
What in the world?
Yeah,
wow.
So that was
an event that's taken in about 30,000. I'm thinking it's probably 30,000 for the game probably event because I know when we went to the Battle of the Bands, I don't even think they had 10,000 people there unless it's really picked up that much. It's like they had one side of the stadium and it was just the bottom level. So I don't even think it was that many people. So let's say you have 30,000. Where is the money going? I know you got to pay for the venue. And, they always have celebrities and whoever else there, but where is the money going? They're splitting $700,000. That's no money at all. That's your hotel accommodations and food for the team and the band, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, and so basically, the guy said $25 for the year for the event, and then like he said, last year's event was $30,000. He's saying basically when you add the $25 times or multiply that times the 30,000 people, you said you're looking at the $750,000 to split between the two schools. So I think that even still, if that's still the case, if that's all the money that they've had, then they may be splitting less than that. I guess the point, I guess, that we still, for everyone to hear is we're definitely talking about chump change. And then the guy, I think his point in the article was that these students are still putting in those hours to memorize the music, with their education. Because we're still supposed to go to class. Go to class, y'all. For real. Go to class. So that's really important, too, when you actually extrapolate all of this time and money benefiting the student. Is definitely off. So I'm glad that he wrote that article. And, again, I posted it in the chat room, and I hope, as many people get to read that, building his awareness as much as possible. Like Rashad said, we can have 100 for Hampton, 100 for Hantee, 100 for everybody so we can help save our craft. Again, appreciate the call, Miss Bree.
No problem. One last point I think is important. I think this just kind of speaks to the importance of HBCUs just taking control of their financial status. Everybody's making money off of us, and it's not cool. One of the things that I love that came out of the AD's meeting last year when they decided, hey, we're going to the NCAA stuff, and it's not really working out. MEAC and SWAC, we can control this and do it ourselves and come out with a bigger pot. Smartest decision ever. Absolutely. So that means the monies are going directly to the HBCUs instead of going to whatever. So somehow things like the Bayou Classic, Florida Classic, whatever, we have to figure out how to control our financial status with those events so that, we're cutting out the middleman and, in essence, the school's seeing more profits in the long run.
Actually, really good point. Definitely making sure we touch the same dollars. That's outstanding point. We
started the Celebration Bowl again. Well, they started that back again.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, now is that BCS or FCS related, or are the two schools getting in that? Because I know that's supposed to kick off the actual bowl season or something like that. Rashad?
What actually happened was the ADs from all the HBCUs actually met. I think it was because I remember an article coming out about it last March. And they were like, hey, we're going to the NCAA things. We're not getting the money. We know we're not going any further. We're not going to the Rose Bowl anywhere else. We can actually do this ourselves, control the events where our schools can see more money. And so it's actually the MEAC and the SWAC came together. Great move. I think it was a great power move. They came together and decided, hey, let's do this. Let's do the Celebration Bowl. Let's do our own bowl game instead of buying into what the NCAA is doing. And, basically we get the profit from it. Smart move. Very smart move.
And that's how we build infrastructure. Again,
Absolutely.
That's how we build that infrastructure. We combine in our resources, and you actually have a national product. So then other people will eventually start to be like, hey, you see what those guys are doing over there. It's kind of how they were back in the 40s and the 50s, and Bear Bryant said, I need to get me one of those. It's the same thing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I like that. Yes, sir. So right quick, thanks again, Rashad. Love the Prunalysis, man. Always appreciate what you do. And again, always giving us the musical angles. Definitely things that, we need explanation. Definitely the expert analysis, if you will. So we are getting close to the commercial break because I'm looking at the clock. But thanks again for calling in. Janelle, if you don't mind, I'll keep you on the line, and we'll close out the show here after the last commercial break. But again, some really good points in this conversation, and we'll definitely keep it moving here to the last. I'm going to go ahead and mute the microphones. Again, let's go ahead and pay the bills, if you will. I'll just give a little bit more analysis or a little bit of what I saw at Jackson State Alcorn in the last segment. Open it up to you, the calls. Hey, if you had something about that format we were talking about for the Battle of the Bands, call in with that. Whatever you want to call about at the end, 718-664-6025. Thanks again for listening. We'll be right back.
This is Joshua Cousin, representing the Ocean of Soul, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
Double Time Entertainment. Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school marching bands through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and been featured on CNN and Lifetime Network's series Bama State Style. We also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join Double Time Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Music lovers are noteworthy.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Hello, this is Brian Knowles, Associate Director of Bands at Miles College, and proud Tennessee State University grad and proud Alabama State University grad. And you are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
All right, we're back in the last segment here. That's Grambling bringing us back from the break. Thanks again for listening. I'll unmute the microphones. Right quick, I was just going to tell you guys, Rashad, did you have anything else you saw or anything else that you wanted to talk about from this week?
I didn't see anything else, but I do, if we have a moment, I kind of want to discuss what's going on with Grambling. Because, I give Grambling a hard time because we're all of us in the bandhead world are supposed to give Grambling a hard time. And they still need to work on their field shows. I mean, that's just the whole net thing. I didn't see the show, but I'm assuming that they did the net, But as far as their sound, it has been a significant improvement in their sound over the last few years. I feel like in 2001, they had maybe it was a freshman class that was really good or something, and now they're seniors and maybe they've reached their maximum. I don't know. I don't know what's changed over there. It's kind of like with Morgan State. Like with Morgan State, they've got the same band director. So it's not like the band director came in and just completely redid something. something happened, and I want to know what that is that has started to make Grambling sound so good.
Yeah, I think with Morgan, they might have gotten some more, like the president or some administrators have been in their corner more and have given them more money to go recruit more. I think that's what might be happening. Maybe Bridget will be able to clarify that. I'm sure.
Yeah, Morgan State's my baby. That's my baby. Yeah, they have some different financial backing. Morgan State's president decided, what he wanted. He saw what he wanted, and he's investing in it. But it's the president is just he's a visionary type of president. It's a new president. I think he came in within the last 5 or 6 years. Visionary, young president. He's a Tuskegee alumni. And then he went on to the University of Wisconsin or somewhere. So he has an idea of what programs, he kind of wanted. The boost for him was when Bethune-Cookman did what I call the We Are the World tour, and they decided they were going to bring their band up to Morgan. And they came in, and he was just like, oh, this is a nice-sized band. I want a bigger band. So he put more money in. He sat down and said, hey. And so with that comes a little more staffing. The staffing there's some need staffing-wise, but the staffing is a little bit better. But the money is there. As with anything, you put money into it, you're going to see a different kind of product.
Right.
A product. So this year, I was really proud of the changes that I saw with the program. It was really encouraging to see the numbers that go up. The people they have in place, the staff is, they're doing a great job with them. So that was really pleasant, and I hope they continue to build on that. The retention was better from this year to last year, so they didn't lose a lot of members. Sometimes, often in colleges, retention is people stop.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. And we make fun of the trumpet section, Jackson State, but they lost a lot of people last year, and of course, that's huge in our doing. And I know that it was a huge problem at Johnson C. Smith. I know Mr. Gray, he's just like, I'm starting over every year, But just getting back to Rashad was saying, maybe it's definitely that. Does Grambling have a new band director? Do they have young arrangers? I haven't heard that, they have any new blood coming through. Do you know what I mean, Rashad?
The only thing I've heard is, we talked about the lady band director that was there, and I don't think that's that old. I think that's within 2 years that she's been there. But I don't know, is she the catalyst for what's going on? I mean, I haven't heard anything as far as anything that has changed at Grambling specifically to make the band starting to sound a lot better. But they sound tremendously better now this year. I mean, significantly better this year than they did last year.
Well, that's outstanding, man. I want to I want to say what I saw Jackson State Alcorn, and then we'll get back to the last discussion. Basically, a lot of folks was basically saying that Alcorn had won the fifth, and a lot of
it's hard for you to even say that.
Show. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, that's hard to even agree with, But Alcorn, man, they remind me of Tupac. Remember when Tupac was rapping? He was mad at Nas because Nas was rapping how he got shot, and then he had left the hotel room the same. And he was like, "Man, Nas, you biting my life, yo." That's how I be feeling about Bizarro State. I just be feeling like they just be biting. They just be biting, So a lot they were good, but it's just man. That's so they made the ASU and JSU, and that takes to all the folks back to 95 when they had really, really big numbers, and they made the ASU and JSU on the same time. They was like, look, Jackson State, man, we killing y'all, So they did that this year, and, they were like, oh, we were showing class, blah, 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 Alcorn, that is. But the S looks just like the Jackson State S. And when they make the ASU, that look just like the JSU. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
I'm feeling a little salt. I'm sensing a little salt in this discussion.
It's just they're good. They were good this year. I mean, they sounded good. I give it to them. But they're Alcorn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't think they won the halftime show. I just need I'll say this: the halftime show was I think they needed more energy. Both bands needed some more energy. But in the fifth, I don't know. I'm still just getting used to the boom not having, like, the upper brass not being so dominant. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
And them being so loud. They're so loud. Jackson State is so loud. And it's like, so I have to, like, calibrate my brain. I hope that the Trump Funk, please go to class, y'all, and come back so we can get those 75 trumpets next year. So, like, it'll be quiet. The whole band world will be quiet. Talk about Jackson State trumpets next year. So please go to class and come back.
On that note of Jackson State trumpets, now I have been defending the trumpet section at Jackson State all year long because
they got
20-something baritones over there and all that. But, you know, and they actually were decently strong when they played Try Again. But you know what? The song I was talking about earlier that had a lot going on in it, there was a place where the trumpets there wasn't really anybody covering them up. And the trumpets really were not pulling their weight. They were just, I mean, it was just them. There's just trumpets out there. And it's like, whoa, you guys, it's not the balance. You guys are just not putting it out there. So I don't know what the heck is going on over there.
Yeah, it may have something a little bit with Barney talking about the playing songs with confidence. I can definitely agree with that. And it's definitely not the same. Barney said, yeah, you need 4 trumpets for every tuba at Jackson State. So, you know, I agree with that, you know. So I'm just happy that folks understand, like, you musicians are able to educate us because, you know, you have to say it's definitely a blend thing. But Alcorn sounds good, man, and they're still not as accurate with the music and, like, the musicality and phrasing, but they're a lot better than what they used to be back in the day. So I think they'll have a good showing at the Honda. So this was basically like Little Brother Saturday. Grambling, you hear people saying Grambling won. You hear people saying Alcorn won. This was like Bizarro, like Little Brother, like, hey, or like Rashad say, the Little Brother can win too. So this should be a real good thing. Shout out to Grambling and shout out to Alcorn.
Scar won against Mufasa both times.
Yes.
Wow.
You can win too. So we are all excited about that. So I am happy to have you guys here. We talked about the article a little bit. I'll go down and ask you guys if there's anything else you had wanted to talk about before we close. So, Christy, I will give you the floor. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about this week? And if not, was there anything else going on with you in the upcoming future?
Well, I guess there's nothing really. I mean, I've said pretty much all I want to say regarding bands for this week, except, the zero quarter. I just want to acknowledge that the zero quarter between Alcorn and Jackson State was very good, too. And I kept thinking to myself, well, there are 2 things I thought. I was like, okay, number one, this is much better than that. I don't know what that was, the Bayou Classic Ballad Band. That was much better than that. Also, it's making me look forward to the Honda because I know that Alcorn and Jackson are going to be there. And so, yeah, it's making me look forward to the Honda a little bit more and, the Skybox. And, yeah. So, I mean, one person on this line has already paid. They did what they were supposed to do. So
that's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Honda to seeing both of those programs.
That's outstanding. And we got the SWAC championship game coming up too. That's going to be Grambling and Alcorn. Those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Little Brother weekend. That's going to be a nice
Battle of Little Brothers, okay.
Battle of Little Brothers. That's going to be
wow.
All right. Miss Bree, or is it okay to call you Miss Bree? I don't know what to call you because then
I
hear.
That's fine.
Okay, because Christy say Bridget.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I call because I know.
Oh, okay. Well, anything else coming up for
you? It's fine. My government name already out there. It's fine.
Okay. Well, anything else coming up for you this week?
The thing that's coming up for it, Morgan State does have their indoor band show this week, and unlike other band shows. This is a stage show. I'm talking about lights, camera, action. You know, we have a movable stage. You're going to see that stage go up and down. It is absolutely an amazing show. They do a great production for the end of the year finale for the Morgan State Magnificent Marching Machine. So that is this Saturday. So we are always excited when that show kind of takes place. It really is a huge event. It grows, it seems like, each year. They do a great job with production. If you saw the Drumline Live show, it's kind of that kind of a feel show.
Yeah, that was a good show.
So it's something. It's more on that line. They bring in a light technical team. You know, they have music videos playing behind some of the songs. I mean, they just really do a nice job with production. So we always look forward to that. So that's the event for this Saturday at Morgan State University. So we're super excited for that.
Periscope?
That's cool. That's cool.
What did you say, Chrissy?
You periscoping it?
Well, I don't know. Just because my hesitation, I want to periscope it, but my hesitation is it's a live recording and you sell the DVD this year, so they asked everybody not to record the event. So out of respect for Morgan State's production team, I don't think if I can do a small snippet, I will, but I really don't want to be the person to get thrown out because I'm periscoping.
Okay.
So,
yeah, please don't get thrown out.
Are you periscoping?
They sell the DVD. That's so funny. That's cool. Give people a taste. I might do a snippet of it, but they always sell the DVD during the show, and that's a big part of their. That's a kind of a profit thing for the band program. I don't want to take that from them.
Okay.
How much are the DVDs? Do you know?
Usually $10.
And what time is the show?
The show begins at 5 o'clock. I want to say before we get off the line, I'll make sure I have the correct answer. But I think it's at 5 o'clock.
Okay. Cool. And Barney, that kind of answers, I think, Barney's question. He was going to ask how can Double Time get there to film, but I guess we answered all of that.
I still will contact the Morgan State band office. They may provide press passes and things like that. So I'm contacting the band office. If he wants to contact me offline, I'll give you the number to contact to get permission to kind of see what you can do there. But it's a show you definitely, if you're in the area, it is a fabulous show to kind of be a part of.
Nice,
it's a good experience.
Nice. That's pretty good. Rashad, what's going on with you, man?
Well, man, I wish I could go to the Morgan State fashion show they got going on next Saturday. That sounds pretty cool. Now I got things going on Saturday. Let me ask though. So, is the SWAC Challenge Championship? Is that it? Is that the last big event, or Celebration Bowl's not this year? Is it?
Yeah, Celebration Bowl's this year.
The 9th, I think.
Versus somebody, versus either Alcorn or Grambling.
So
whoever
is it going to be?
That game.
So will it be the SWAC Championship this coming weekend, and then the Celebration Bowl the week after that? Is that how it works?
No, it's the 19th. So there's a week in between there. Yeah.
Give them a chance to rest.
Right. Yeah, we need some rest. Okay, and we're gonna be covering the SWAC Championship, Joe.
Sure. Why not, man? If I start seeing like the videos, like my gut like take over, Rashad. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm tired. And then when the video come up, I'm like, oh, I'm scared if I don't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we'll do something. Plus, it's so good to talk to the brethren every week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, I was just asking that because, I guess I'll hold off on any closing thoughts for the season. Gosh, it went by so fast.
It did.
Yeah, so I really don't have anything. I mean, of course, to promote Block Band, of course, the holiday season is upon us now, and, so if you haven't gotten your Christmas music yet, you might be a little late on that, but we do have it, both concert and marching band. But I encourage band directors now to start thinking about their Martin Luther King Day parades, which are coming up very soon. We've got, as we mentioned, we've got a great arrangement of Happy Birthday to you. But it's got a nice little run in the trumpets that you're going to need. You're going to want to spend some time on that. So you don't want to get it Wednesday and try to play it Saturday. And we also got a cool arrangement of Lift Every Voice and Sing done for marching band. So I hope you guys will check us out and get what you need for your band. We've got all kinds of things, concert band music as well as bat shoes, gloves, mouthpieces, method books, everything you need.
That's outstanding, Rashad. Love your business, man. Love what you do. Right quick, I had to give a shout out to a LL Cool K. I think that's her name. She's a Grambling alum.
Okay. LL Cool K.
Yeah, and she's the Reds too. So shout out to the Deltas. Shout out to all the elephants out there. And she said she actually studied at history and geography at Grambling. The same thing my degrees are in. So she said she was a fan of the show, and she actually posted this long thing on the HBCU Band Uncut page because, of course, folks was going in. One guy posted, he was just mad. He was like, man, forget Grambling. Y'all ain't win nothing. And it had like 140 comments after it. So she put something on there that was really funny. I can't read it all, but I told her I was going to give her a shout out. She said she listens to the show. But, again, always love having the Grambling folks or just anyone like Bridget from representing Morgan State, just anyone so we could have more coverage for that school. It'll definitely help the network. So shout out to, all the fans representing your individual HBCUs. It definitely helps the network. So actually, like we said, we got the SWAC championship coming up. We got the Soul Bowl. We'll definitely take a break there, and we'll come back with the Honda. I am planning to be there, but I got
Honda?
Yes, ma'am. I'm planning to be there, but I bought my ticket with the Boominati suite. The Jackson State alumni suite.
Boo! Boo!
Yes. And
press the button, Joe. Press the button.
You should really see my face now. I'm just glad we're on audio and not video.
But this is the thing. So I was scared to be around anybody from Jackson State if I didn't show up to the suite. It was it's the peer pressure, Christy. And I have to say, because I made this decision, I will definitely be there in 2017 with the fifth quarter, and we got to do a contract or something.
Even if Jackson's in it next year,
even if I didn't think about it.
There we go.
But wait, okay, so look, I'm giving myself an applause. Even if Jackson State is in it, I'll be there next year with the fifth quarter. I hope we in it next year. That would be, unless we win it. You just never know, man. Because I was, that's.
You know what? If I do not lay eyes on your face at the Honda, it's gonna be some smoke in the city. That's all I have to say.
Ooh.
Joe, you see how she's trying to force you to come to an event. But when I say anything, hey, Krista, we should have a get together. I mean, I don't really have room in my place.
See, what you're not
but it's
gonna do is volunteer
you see, Rashad, you see what you did? You see what you did there, Rashad? You see that?
She kind of did. She kind of did. She kind of did. But
she just want to take over, no matter what.
But I appreciate it, Krista. You gave me the motivation to make it out there. Because I'm like, you know what, Christy going to give me a hard time if I don't make it. And shout out to all the family. Shout out to all the family that's definitely offered me a place to stay. So I think I am good. I just need to get my my plane ticket. And I definitely will be there. Definitely looking forward to meeting you guys in person. Also looking forward to meeting Kevin Poteet and the wild crazy bandhead folks have their own suite. And I think it's booked already. So I'm looking forward to even meeting them as well. I just want to come around and say something. I have my own stuff, so don't worry about I won't, pinch off anything. Definitely.
Band Uncut has their own page, has their own suite?
They got with Kevin, with Kevin up there.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I know. I can't wait to see him. So that would be cool. But definitely we're just reaching out to all the folks. Thanks for all the support and listening. For the show, and definitely looking forward to combining with you guys to, save our communities, if you will. I'll go ahead and close out the show. I don't see anybody else coming in. But again, thanks for, all the support. We're doing something. I believe in what's going on, so that's outstanding. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show and we give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial, show your icon during the broadcast. We'll post your website on our blog and help send out your information through social media. Contact us so we can help build your business. That's the end for the show. That's the end of the show tonight. Thanks again for listening. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart. I'm talking too fast. To the marchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the lectures you may deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lessons by observing what you do. See you next time.